My name is Charles Nijmom, and then I'm training Jiu-Jitsu for 15 years. And I'm based in London for 6 years, and I'm training and teaching also in an RGA academy. My first experience with Jiu-Jitsu was a friend of mine, like 15 years ago, like I said. Before that, I had been training like a bit of judo when I was a child, but nothing too serious. Like I wasn't feeling comfortable to be on the mat every day when I was a child. And eventually when I reached like 15 years old, 16, 15, a friend of mine invited me to do my first Jiu-Jitsu lesson. And soon when I first stepped on the mat, and like after many years, I feel the advantage and the other side of like martial arts can give to you a part of the sport. So, and then since then I never stopped training. You know, I just gained more into Jiu-Jitsu like every day, like teaching, training, and this is what I do. Actually, my first experience in Europe, I traveled to Poland. I had the experience to teach there for 3 months. That was the idea, the initial idea. And then after teach 3 months in Poland, then I moved to UK to stay like 3 months. And I did this like a few times. Was something like a very slowly, like just to more in terms of adaptation. I went back to Brazil, 6 months in Brazil, and then 6 months in the UK. I did this a few times, and then until I reached the point that actually this is what I want to do, and I choose this country here to base and then start teach Jiu-Jitsu and then do this for the rest of my life. I believe the Jiu-Jitsu in Europe like is growing a lot. And you spoke about America. Like America's kind of bit saturated, and that's one. I think that's one of the reasons why Europe is growing fast as well now. Like I said, Poland like is one of the countries is Jiu-Jitsu has the most like quantity of people training right now. The UK as well, maybe is the second one. Norway, so it's growing everywhere in Europe, and. And my transition to come from Brazil and then start thinking about the idea to come here teach Jiu-Jitsu in Europe was through Braulio Stima. Braulio is a friend of mine. We're from the same academy in Brazil, back in Brazil. And he gave me the opportunity to start teaching his academy. And I did this for a few years on his academy, and I was happy there. And then Roger one day called him saying, I need someone to teach in my academy. Can you recommend someone? And then Braulio, he thought about me straight away and said, Charles, Roger's asking for someone to be the head instructor in his academy. And I was thinking about you, and I think it's a great opportunity for you. You know, you're gonna move to London, and London is the biggest city, and I think you're gonna do better at that. So, and then I'm considered I'm like a guy like has the opportunity to stay a few years training for Braulio and then also with Roger. Nothing to complain on. I consider myself like a guy. Back in that time, I was brown belt. I still like I was working hard to make some mark in the Jiu-Jitsu history as a brown belt, and then eventually get my black belt and try to do the same. And I remember Braulio like coming to Abu Dhabi and doing the first one, and everyone was talking about the UAE organization was doing like something new like for the sport, and I remember like the fight as well. Like I was watching the fight all the time, like Marcelo Garcia, Braulio, Victor, all the stars of Jiu-Jitsu was competing back in that time as well. And yeah, I'm lucky to see like the evolution of the competition, and then how far UAE got to the point like this whole thing is right now, like, you know, it's something like special. My first experience was in 2014. Yeah, I think it was in the World Pro. Yeah, I believe I won the first fight and I lost on the second one. And it was like this, like gradually, like and then I come in next year after, and then I won 2 fights and I lost in the third one, and then I was like getting better, and then I started like do better. And then the day, 2 years ago, I did the qualification for the World Pro, and I managed to reach the final, and I lost the final. So like wasn't an easy way, but I was there every year, and then I was feeling a lot of pleasure to compete. You know, your organization, because the organization treated the athlete like how we wish, like for many years. You know, like we was thinking about that many years ago, and then actually we live in the dream, and then I did a few Grand Slams as well. I won few of them, and then I got invited for the King of the Mat because I did win like few Grand Slams, and then thanks to God I managed to win the King of the Mat. The biggest competition that I have won so far, and it means a lot for me, especially because I fought against like tough guys. Everyone wants to win, but like every time when you face someone you have been like watching for years, let's say Andre Galvão. When Andre Galvão was a black belt, I was white belt. He was already winning everything, and I was white belt. I didn't have any expectation to leave with Jiu-Jitsu, you know, when I was white belt. And I watched his whole career, all his titles, and then one day when I see myself, I was fight against him. And then I had to impose myself and say, I think that's my time. You know, like I will not like let the big name come through my head and then stop me, you know, reach my dreams. And yeah, that tournament I believe was the one that I feel proud most. Also, the day that I fought Galvão, and then I lost to Jaime Canuto in the second match, was a little bit contradiction on the fight, because in the first match, I was saying, he tried to score 2 points, and then the referee had to stop the fight, but he managed to win the fight. And then I won my third match against Renato Canuto by decision, and I reached the final, fighting against Renato Canuto again, Jaime Canuto in the final, and I managed to win him. Like I beat him like right in the end, like 10 seconds left. I managed to kind of pass his guard and then guarantee my victory. I think it's pretty interesting. Like I give you, like, even though you lose in one match, you overcome like the defeat, and then you come back stronger and try to, you still have a chance to win the tournament. And the opportunity is not just for one athlete, it's for all of them. So if you win one match and then you lost the second one, you still can fight, and then you still can win I believe it's like interesting. This is how they do in the Olympics as well. Like if you lose one match, it don't mean you're not fighting anymore. And I think it's interesting. So I think that should be the format. What Grand Slams and World Pro, all the point tournament that UAE made, it's a different than all the tournaments, because the ranking system give you like some motivation to score more points. And if you score more points, like you said, we are professional, right? So we have bills to pay. So every time you score more points, you have more chance to reach like some amount of money at the end of the season. Also competing in the Grand Slams, you have a chance to make some money competing. So this used to be the dream of like jiu-jitsu fighter 15 years ago. We used to thinking about stopping. One day we're gonna do some competition that will pay prize money, like let's say every single weekend, and then it's happening now, you know, like, and we're so grateful for that. And the whole circle, like I said, like give her extra motivation to be traveling like around the world, doing what I love most, and getting paid. Like nothing to complain, you know, just be grateful. It's a bit of pressure because all the students gonna come down, but I try to not let this like interfere like in my performance. I know it's like it's a different feeling because it's where I live, you know, everyone will be here watch me. But I will compete like I will try to do exactly what I do in all the tournaments. You know, like Grand Slam is a tournament I have. I think this will be the fourth one that I'm gonna do. Yeah, I believe it's the fourth one. And then I always put a lot of effort to be able to compete the Grand Slam here in London, at least, because it's the city that that I live, that I teach, that I think I need to be here on the mat, doesn't matter what. Like I mentioned before, like the Jiu-Jitsu in UK is growing a lot. It's a lot of kids like in the RGA Academy. We for the last past 2 years, our kids class grows like a without control. We have like a 200 kids, 250 kids training. That was something very rare to see in UK. And one academy in UK, one school with a lot of kids training at the same time. And I believe that's the evolution that, Jiu-Jitsu get more well-known in the country. Also help to build in education and the personality of the kids, and then the parents, they can see that. They can see the benefits of Jiu-Jitsu. And that means we're in the right way, our school as well, like Roger Grace Academy, is growing. We move into another place now because the place our current place is too small. We're going to a big place. So that means Jiu-Jitsu is growing. More people want to train Jiu-Jitsu, more people know about Jiu-Jitsu. And I believe the same thing is happening in Birmingham with Braulio. He is the head coach in the Gracie Barra there. His academy is growing. He just moved from a new place. It's an amazing place. And his school is like packed, full of students. I believe in a few years it's gonna be like something out of control, Jiu-Jitsu everywhere. Like I said, I'm considered a lucky guy, and then end up like teaching in the school of the best, the greats ever in Jiu-Jitsu. And then every day I'm thinking about that. Every day I'm thinking about, how lucky I am, and I try to absorb the max that I can absorb like from him. He have a lot of patience like to help me. He knows what I'm passing now, like the goods and downsides to be a competitor, to be a competitor. So he tried to always anticipate, give me some of his experience. And then Roger, man, he's the greatest, he's the best one ever. So he has a lot of things to share, and I'm so grateful to be able to train with him like almost every day, and then try to absorb all the information, the techniques, the lifestyle, everything he knows. I try to be there, just listen to him, and that's it. Like, it's not much to say. I'm lucky guy. Yeah. I'm not trying to be cheesy, but Roger, Braulio, all my friends, they are two that I always like trying to get the massive influence as well. But it has another athletes from different academies. Let's say Lucas Lepre from Alliance. He has been showing like jiu-jitsu with like a higher quality, like I really like watching him competing. The way how he does, even though being a lightweight. He fight against big guys, and then he shows exactly the same technique he does when he does on his weight. Yeah, those three guys, like they are that I'm always like watching, like try to learn something from them. I believe my jiu-jitsu is I learn a lot from the base. I'm fascinated from the base jiu-jitsu. The base with reach on details, like this is what I'm fascinated most. But I like to follow the evolution of Jiu-Jitsu as well. I like to experiment new things. So let's say my Jiu-Jitsu is the whole fundamental, the base is on the base, in the basics. but I always add something like a little bit acrobatic, you know, some trick movements, some movements people never did before. I always like to explore the side that no one ever done before. I always like to try to develop things that people never done before as well. So let's say mix of both things. But if in one word I would say, yeah, let's say my jiu-jitsu is very classic and old school. We know each other and then we're kind of quite friends, yeah. I watched the last King of the Mat. I really liked the fights. Was pretty excited. Like just gave my extra motivation to be on the mat, competing again, watching all of them fight. Yeah, and his final against Isaac, are really good. Like, I think was really good because he kind of was losing the match, and then Ryan, and he did very similar what I did on my edition. He was losing the fight, and right in the end, he managed to reverse and then guarantee his victory. This was exactly what I did. So I believe my match against him will be like good fight, and I will give my best. I pretty much he's gonna give his best as well, and let's see who's gonna be the real king of the mat. Well, like I have been like heard about that like for many years as well, and I believe like every year we're getting closer, but I don't feel like I don't feel even like Jiu-Jitsu became an Olympic sport, I will be able to be one of the athletes to represent my country. But I want to see this one day. I want to see Jiu-Jitsu growing. Like this is what I'm doing here in Europe. I'm here in Europe, like trying to make the Jiu-Jitsu grow more and more. Like, and every time because I'm in Europe, I'm traveling for different countries, like East Europe, countries like Lithuania, like Poland, like back in time, Hungary, like those countries just still growing, you know. And I'm doing my part, you know. I'm going there, doing seminar. So anything related to Jiu-Jitsu, make the Jiu-Jitsu bigger, you know, I 100% like support. You know, I'll be behind, like giving all my support if you know anyone need. And yeah, this is what I want to see. I want to see Jiu-Jitsu getting bigger, like in a way, because it's not just a sport. Like everyone is into Jiu-Jitsu. They know the benefits are part of Jiu-Jitsu, and what makes good for me, what makes me feel good. I want the same for my friends. I want from my colleagues, you know, for people that I don't know, and I want the exact same for them. Like I mentioned before, UK, Poland, and Norway, they are the main ones. Just growing like very fast. But let's say in Italy, Netherlands, German, East European countries, still it's growing, but not at the same pace. You know what I'm saying? And but we know we're doing the right job. We're in the right direction, and in a few years, the natural will be like just growing fast in those countries that I mentioned, like that it's not growing. And then I believe in Europe gonna be a big potential, like Jiu-Jitsu world, like in a few years there. This is what I can see. This is what I want, but unfortunately, like I'm one of the head instructors in OG Academy. I have to teach a lot of classes as well. I like to teach, but that's what hold me back a bit, like be traveling all the time, doing the whole sequence, because I have like the compromise to be teaching, and you know, it's my job as well. So I cannot like let the academy down, like without me not being there teaching Jiu-Jitsu. But you know, I have a few years competing at a high level, so you know, I believe like I will set my plans to start like do the whole circuit like the way how I should do, traveling for all the countries, doing all the Grand Slams, and then end up competing the World Pro at the end of the season. Man, so that's something like that. Every time I have a student, he's in a wheelchair, but he loves training Jiu-Jitsu. And every day he comes to the academy to train, and he got adapt Jiu-Jitsu for himself, and he takes from me like things that I haven't done. Like I have to adapt Jiu-Jitsu for him, so I'm teaching him. I'm trying to adapt position for him, and it does make me better doing that. you know. And then see the determination he has to come to the academy and train every day, how much effort he puts to train. You know, when he competed the Abu Dhabi Grand Slam, the party he won his fight, man, Jiu-Jitsu is going for every part, you know, like reaching everyone. And just what I want. I wanna see Jiu-Jitsu growing, and I wanna see every single one train Jiu-Jitsu. That would be like something that, like in life, like if you ask me what dreams you have, that would be something I would like to see Jiu-Jitsu if I, you know, introduce for everyone. And talking about again about my student, man, he just make me proud. Like it's just like another level of determination, and then, you know, eye of the tiger, like say, like to ignore all the difficult part and then take advantage from Jiu-Jitsu, you know. We're talking about a bit of my story. Like one of the reasons why I stepped on Jiu-Jitsu as well was because when I was a teenager, 14, 15, I felt a bit like I feel like a bit empty inside, like I'm not stick with something that I was falling in love, you know what I'm saying? And all my friends back in time, there was like in a period like I started drinking, party, and then I didn't want this for myself. And Jiu-Jitsu like is responsible to take me a part of that. I believe in that age, like when I see all my old friends now, they are unfit, you know, they cannot like do sports anymore, and then they're still young. And then I thinking about my decision that I made back in time. I think it was the best decision that I have done. Like it was stick with something that I love to do. You know, I believe everyone need to reach one point in life. They need to stick. They need to stop and thinking about what I like to do. And then doesn't matter if for a few years you will pay the price, you will not get the money that you expect. Because money is not everything, you know. You need to. Life is short. You cannot like spend most part of your life like doing something you don't like to do. That's not fair, you know. You will not be living like in the right way. And that's the decision that I made. And every day I come to the academy, and I have a lot of students, lawyers, doctors, all different type of jobs, and then half of them, they always come to the academy saying, man, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. You have been studying like for a year, but, you know, you gotta stop one period and ask for yourself. You need to ask for yourself, what do you like to do? What I love to do? And then stick with the idea, and then work, pay the price, because it will be worth it like at the end, 100%.